I think one of the main reasons why a lot of people start things and don't finish when it comes to self improvement and things that will elevate their life to a higher level is because they stop learning. You see, when you're an average person, right? Maybe average income, maybe below average income, average housing, average job, average friends. When you try to do better for yourself and you start seeing a and doing a bit better for yourself, you'll end up kind of like constantly comparing yourself to people you're around instead of comparing yourself to people higher than you. Because yes, you can go to the gym like 3, 4, 5 days a week, but you're not going to bodybuilder competitions to see people way above you. Instead, you're comparing yourself to people who are already around you, who you're trying to compete against, to compare yourself to, who aren't going to the gym. And so you'll go to the gym, get a little gains, and be like, okay, well, I'm stronger than this person. So I feel really good and confident about myself because I'm better than the next person, which isn't really the way to go. It's not the way to achieve your highest version of yourself. It's just a way to feed your ego. Hence why I want to bring forth the topic of never to never stop learning. To never stop learning means you never are stagnant, you are never uh, complacent, you are never, I guess, unevolving. And if you constantly learn, you're constantly and consistently being a student instead of a quote unquote master. Um, you can grow to heights you never thought imaginable, right? Like imagine the top person, whatever space you're thinking of, right? Maybe like basketball, for example. I'll say basketball because I'm very familiar with basketball. I play basketball. I love basketball. Kobe Bryant. Could you imagine, or like LeBron, or Michael Jordan? Could you imagine if once they won their first ring, or like their first MVP or scoring title or whatever, they just stopped like going to practice? They're like, oh yeah, I'm the most valuable player in the entire league, and that's just where I am, and that's I don't need to do anymore. Could you imagine they just stop going to practice and heading to the gym? Like they would not. They would come next season and get their shit whooped. I'm not gonna lie. Like they would be like shit. They might lose their spot in the roster. I mean, one, their coaching isn't going to go for that. Like you stop going to the gym. Like what are you doing? But like even in game day, like it would show that like hey, you don't work out, and it shows even now too in today's NBA. Like the guys who are in the gym every day versus guys who are in the gym like maybe 3 4 times a week. It'll show, and it'll show for you too whether you're playing a sport, going to the gym, trying to start a business, trying to do whatever you want to where there's other people trying to fight for your spot. You will lose if you stay complacent and don't constantly adapt and evolve to curate a better reality and a more competent version of yourself. So I want to say this: don't ever let your ego and pride stop you from evolving. Don't ever think that you are better than someone else, and because of that, you don't need to learn more because that person can definitely catch up, especially when they know it's apparent and very obvious that they're under you. It might spark a fire in them to be better than you, right? Because could you imagine being at the top of the mountain? Like for some, it could be a little bit, I guess, unappealing to be at the top because now you have nothing to shoot for. But if you're not at the top of the mountain, like you're trying to get there, like that's your goal. And so if you and so your mindset changes drastically from whether or not you see yourself at the top or not. And so what I want to challenge you is to never see yourself at the top of the mountain. No, don't ever do that. Always compare yourself to yourself. That's the best way to never see the top of the mountain because if you hold this image in your head of your like unfathomable potential, you can always reach towards higher goals, right? Okay, like okay, I'm lifting 205, bench, not gonna lift 210, not gonna lift 220. Hell, I might be the first human to lift fucking 800 bench if that's even been done. I don't know if that's been done. If that's been done. That's crazy. But and there's plenty of ways to curate learning in your you know in your life, right? You don't now you can take courses, you can pay for courses, you can go to YouTube University, right? There's plenty of content on social media that can teach you certain skills that you need to learn for whatever endeavor you're going on. You can talk to professionals around you. You know, go to these meetups and just like pick their brains. You know, I mean, buy them a coffee, pick their brains. I've done it before. You can read books. There's plenty of books. Go to Barnes and Nobles. Great selection of books. I love Barnes and Nobles, and they have a lot of informational books as well. You can honestly, I think the best one you can do actually is just learning from failure as well. That's kind of how humans work too. We learn from failure. That's how history works, right? We record history, we look at history, we teach history, and we teach these things so we don't forget and we learn from it, right? Like, could you imagine if we never learn the, I guess, reasons and origins behind like certain wars? I mean, now, don't get me wrong, we're still gonna wage war. That's just how humans work. But it, I can't even say that. Wow. I can't even say it's hardly the same reasons when in actuality it is. But we do take things from history and we learn to adapt. For example, technology, right? From the first wheel being made to cars, right? Or if this car malfunctioned for this reason, okay, then now the next car will add this new contraption that fail proofs it, right? Like or planes, right? You had the Orville brothers flying the little plane in the airstrip, and then that kind of worked, kind of didn't. And over time, they recorded, and saw what didn't work and saw what worked, and now we have Boeing making these 737 planes, which are flying all over the world with tons of capacity, tons of comfort. Much different from the planes of the past. And so, learning from your mistakes is important. I'm not saying you need to be making planes or reinventing the wheel, but just in your life, learn from your mistakes, learn from experience, learn from books, learn from mentors, courses, or whatever. Just don't stop learning. If you stop learning, you're done. That's like the worst thing you can do, right? If you're ever confused, have analysis paralysis, like what should I do? What should I do? The only bad thing you can do, the only bad choice is to stop. The only bad choice is to give up, all right, and to stop learning and to stop trying. That's the only bad choice you have. So just never stop learning. Don't give up. Don't give in. Whatever you're going through, push through it. Learn more. And if you stick with it long enough, you will get results. It's 100% guaranteed. And pretty much every endeavor. So just think about that whenever you are considering quitting, considering that it's too hard for you, considering that you're not good enough for it, considering that you're not built for it, you're not born for it. You just need to learn more, right? Because you're not born with any God-given. Well, you're not born with natural talent for the most part. So whatever skill you're trying to acquire, you just have to learn it. And even if you are naturally good at it, right? Maybe you're super tall, so you're naturally good at basketball. There's gonna be someone who's a couple inches shorter than you, but is actually in the gym and is gonna blow you out the water. So all in all, in this, don't stop learning. Don't be stagnant, and keep comparing yourself to the future and better version of you. That way, you can reach the highest peak, the highest potential of your life. And when you die, you will not have regrets.